Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's November 17th regular school board meeting. We're at Unionville High School tonight. Let's all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now I'll pass it to Dr. Hoffman for the superintendent's report.
Sorry, caught me mid-mint. I'm chewing it quickly. But thank you, Dr. Brada, and welcome to November regular board meeting. So a couple of quick things, and I know we have a lot to do here and a lot of exciting things to do here, actually, here in just a minute. But first and foremost, I just want to thank our community. So one of the things you'll notice in our agenda tonight is the call was answered for our food service department. And this was just an amazing, I think, organic type of ground roots recruitment for when we were really down for our employees in food service. We had a number of openings. We had a lot of concerns about continuing the level of service that we could continue. And our parents really delivered, either through volunteering and becoming employees of our school district or using their social media channels to get out the information that then had other people reach out to us in order to fill all of our positions. So just huge kudos to our community for their help in getting our food service fully staffed. And so you'll see a lot of that on the agenda tonight as far as our employment. So I wanted to make sure that our community was congratulated because that was awesome. Secondly, and very shortly, our design process for the middle school work continues. Breslin is currently doing that work as we move towards January, when January we'll be planning to share a little bit more about the costs of the potential draft and talk about next steps from there. So I just wanted to let everybody know there's not much of an update other than the design work continues, and we're looking forward to January with some more specific information. So with that, I'm going to turn it over now to Mr. Crater, the proud principal of Unionville High School. Thanks for hosting us today, and we're looking forward to what you have to share with us. So, Mr. Crater, the floor is yours.
All right, that's right, Dr. Hoffman, proud principal indeed. Good evening, board members, and good evening to all of our guests. It is my privilege, it's my pleasure to welcome everybody to Unionville High School tonight. And so at Unionville High School, the heart of our work really lies in the daily experience and the education of our students. That is why this evening, instead of hearing solely from me, we want you to have a direct window into what it looks like and what it feels like to be a student in our school. So we have some really amazing students who will participate in a panel Q&A moderated by our very own Mr. Bresky this evening. But before we get started, I'd like to share a few thoughts and reflections through the lens of a new high school principal right here at Unionville. So when you're the high school principal, you get an inside look into everything that's going on, all the work, all the good work that's happening throughout the building. And so as that relates to our people, and being someone who's been around for a little while now, coming into this role, I already knew that we had an outstanding staff and I already knew that we had these incredible students and families. But that has not only been affirmed, but it's been significantly amplified through the lens of a new principal. So our staff, they are people who they're in it for the right reasons. They're hardworking people. They care deeply. Our teachers, our behavioral health staff, PCAs, security. I mean, I'm talking about all of our educators. We have about 200 employees at the high school. I've had multiple conversations with our head custodian, who oftentimes ends those conversations by saying, I'm going to give you 110% for these kids and for this school. Just today, I had the privilege of observing one of our school counselors working with the 9th grade in a freshman session. I was in an English class today. And it's clear that above all else, the relationships that are happening in this building are creating a really positive learning environment. Just another example off the top, Jenna Clear's here tonight just to support these students. That's why she's here. And so it's really just amazing. Our families, they're so supportive. Our PTO is unbelievable. And the art gala this weekend while we're talking about the PTO. And we all know that things feel good when it's easy, but I'm also really proud of the partnerships that we've had with families when things aren't easy. And so we are working together with our families to give our students the best possible education and experience. And then of course our students, they are the why. That's why we're here. It's such a privilege. And it's so inspirational to be around our students. They bring us so much joy. I couldn't be more proud of our kids, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from all of you tonight. So we all know that there's an entirely new admin team at the high school. You might be curious about like, well, how's that going? And so yeah, I thought maybe I'd spend just a minute or two here giving you some insight into how that's going. And so I'm going to share some examples from we have an amazing Sunshine Committee, and that's led by Bree Ziegler and Sue Motz. And they have a lot of really nice initiatives going on in the building, things to help us proactively respond to the needs of our staff and to the climate of the building. And it's been really great for morale. But one of the initiatives is that each month staff have the opportunity to nominate an unsung hero in our building, and then the receiving staff member of that nomination gets like a little printout on their desk. And so with the help of Ms. Ziegler, I was able to get a few of the anonymous submissions to share with you this evening. And I hope that this helps to capture the sentiment, the feeling about the new assistant principals and our dean of students. And so I'll just read exactly what they say. And so Eric Peoples has always been there to support our students. He has been so supportive of Best Buddies, which has been amazing. Eric has been supportive with problem solving student needs. He always shows such enthusiasm, and he brings a great energy to the role of dean. Natalie Carter, I am so incredibly happy that Natalie is an assistant principal. She has been an amazing support to me already, and I value her input. She is awesome, and they could not have chosen a better person for the job. Nat has jumped into being an admin with both feet and has been so supportive. Her first question is always, how can I help? Followed by, what do you need from me? And I can always know that she can be counted for. And last but not least, Mary Beth Lyles. Her nomination says that Mary Beth brings the critical thinking to her position as assistant principal from all of her past and ongoing roles. Counselor, department chair, dean of students, administrator, advocate, and mom. She finds a way to blend up that secret sauce we all need, whether that's a good joke, a supportive note, a firm response, or a creative approach to a new and demanding problem. I'm grateful for the dedication to our community that she brings to UHS. And so those are some anonymous notes that have been shared with some of the members of our new admin team. And I am really grateful for our team, and I'm really proud of their work as well. I do want to acknowledge that the transition has been successful in large part because of our office staff, Carolyn Barr, Amanda Froelich, Kristen Smith, Juliet Lutz, and Ashley Young. It's tough to have an entirely new administration, but they have welcomed us with so much grace and support. And they're a huge part of our team and a huge part of our school. As for me, so back in August, I made a few remarks at a school board meeting when I was approved for this position. And I expressed my gratitude and my excitement for the role. And so a few months later, I am still standing, but really my appreciation and energy for this job is on a whole new level. I feel like this position has given me a boost of adrenaline. I'm learning, I'm engaging with staff and students, and honestly, we are really having a lot of fun. We're having a blast working with our students and our staff. Certainly, there's been challenges. There's been some tense moments, and there's a lot of work to do. But the support for one another and the team of educators that we have throughout the entire building gives me all the confidence and optimism for our school and for our students. And so speaking of our students, at this time, I am going to turn it over to the one and only Mr. Bresky to facilitate a conversation with some really incredible kids. So Gavin, would you join me here at the microphone? You guys ready to go? All right. There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to this wonderful group of humans. And folks, well, first, my name's Gavin Bresky. I'm a teacher in the high school English department. And so I'm going to turn it over to this wonderful group of folks. And we'll go right down the line one by one. If you want to introduce yourself with your name and then what grade you're in here at the high school.
Awesome. Hello, my name is Sadie Anders, and I'm in 11th grade this year.
I'm Yara Slim, and I'm in 12th grade.
I'm Amelia Stuber, and I'm in 10th grade.
I'm Charlie Zucchero, and I'm in 11th grade.
Hi, I'm Uda Adarsh. I'm in 12th grade.
Hi, I'm Mark Hopkins. I'm in 11th grade at UHS.
Hi, I'm Lucas Cow, and I'm 9th grade.
All right, folks, thank you so much, and thank you for being here tonight. So we are going to start with our first question for Uda. So Uda, you are a UHS senior, a member of our marching band and indoor percussion ensemble, and a student at TCHS in the veterinary science program. Tell us about your program at TCHS. Tell us a little bit about how it feels to be a student at two schools, and what are 3 words that describe what it feels like to be a senior in high school?
All right. So, of course, like you said, I'm in the veterinary medicine program. So we mainly work with animals, mainly on like the medicine side and the clinical side. So we have hands-on labs. It's about like 25% like theory, and then 75% we're in labs working. And it's like it sets us up perfectly for a career in the veterinary medicine program, whether you want to be like the top vet or you want to be like a veterinary nurse or a technician. In fact, as soon as seniors graduate from this program, we actually have credentials and certificates to actually practice as veterinary assistants. So that's a really good opportunity for us if we want to make that extra money in college, or if we genuinely want to just be a veterinary assistant, then we can immediately start working with that. Being as a student, being in 2 schools was overwhelming, like a lot, my first year, because Unionville is the only district that sends freshmen to TCHS. So, I mean, it was definitely a transition from being in one school in middle school, and then all of a sudden you're a freshman in 2 schools. So like the commute, the time management, once I got my like feet underneath me, it started becoming like a lot of fun. Like I do not regret taking this program at all. I love it. I recommend it for every student who wants to be a vet or wants to do anything that TCHS offers. I would say please go for it. But yeah, I mean, I had my group of friends who were also freshmen, and we kind of stuck together. Actually, networking is also a big thing at TCHS. Most of the teachers there have worked in the department that you're training in, and having that connection and that guidance is wonderful for if you want to go for post-secondary education, or if you just want to go into the workforce. 3 words. I would probably say bittersweet as a senior, because one, I'm excited for my future, and honestly, I'm a little burnt out as a senior. I I want to see where I go. I want to start getting myself out in the world, but then I have a lot of pride for this school. I absolutely adore this district, and it's just the connections I made even at Unionville and at TCHS. I just don't want to leave that, but I'm gonna have to. The second word would be ecstatic. When I first became a senior, it was like peak like application process. All seniors are actually in the application process right now, so it's a little nerve-wracking, but really exciting to see where we go. And then the third one also intertwines. It's hopeful, I would say. This district has set me up perfectly for what I want to do, and I'm forever grateful for that. So those are my 3 words.
Thank you so much, Uda, and congratulations on everything you've accomplished in this program over the past 4 years and continue to accomplish.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to be for Lucas. So, Lucas, we just heard a little bit about what it feels like to be a senior. I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about what it's like to be a freshman here at Unionville High School. How is UHS different from the middle school? What's one thing you're really hoping to accomplish in your 4 years here at UHS?
Right. So being a freshman can be very stressful at times, or especially because we have a lot more homework and responsibilities to do. And, and it's a huge step up from the middle school. Middle school, there's barely any homework under very little stress. But the high school, a lot more responsibility and a lot more opportunities. There's a lot of sports and many opportunities like clubs and like of course there's a play and musical to get involved like in the UHS facility. And so I personally am a wrestler. That is very fun. It's a huge commitment and it's a lot of hard work. And I learned if I want to like get through all these 4 years of school, I'm gonna have to like really work on my time management and like commit to everything I do. And one thing I really want to accomplish in these 4 years of high school is I want to extremely excel in my math skills. By that, UHS offers a math club. They have AMC 10 and AMC 12 test competitions, and I want to participate in those so I can like better my future and decide a trajectory of where I want to go when I grow up.
Thanks so much, Lucas, and great job. It sounds like you're diving right into the deep end with all the different activities and opportunities UHS has for you. Thank you. Our next question is going to be for Marky. So let's talk a little bit about finding your place here at Unionville. So UHS is a large school. What is one club activity or class that has made you feel most connected to the school? And how did that connection help you find your sense of belonging here?
I would say there are two, Best Buddies and Bocce. I I I participate in I participate in both activities, and I create friendships for not only the people in life skills, but also the people outside of life skills. I see I see many of these students in the hallways, and they're always there to for the help and guidance that when I need it the most.
That's awesome. Thank you so very much for sharing that, Marky. Appreciate it. Now we're going to chat with Amelia. So Amelia, let's talk a little bit about balancing both rigor and wellness. In a school of high expectations, there can be a lot of pressure on our students. Our portrait of a graduate is clear. Students must take care of yourself, finding balance for their mental and social emotional needs. What specific non-academic initiative would you champion to proactively reduce student stress and promote student wellness?
Yeah, so as you said, being in a school with such high expectations, it can be very stressful, especially when balancing so many different things. I personally am able to de-stress through like my clubs and activities such as like lacrosse and musical. Those are all things that help me like get away from other stressful things. And I think it's important that our school offers so many different clubs and activities for students to participate in and find what helps them de-stress. If I were to initiate my own non-academic thing, I think it would just be to get students outside more, especially like since we are inside all day and we sit at a desk most of the time. So getting outside, I think, is really good. And it's hard to do in the winter because it's so cold, but in the spring, especially during lunch and learn, I usually go outside and walk around the track or like play spike ball or something with my friends. And I think that's really great. And overall, I just think it comes back to having those options for students and them being able to find what works best for them and really just explore different options.
Thank you so much, Amelia. I had lunch and learn duty out on the turf last year, and so it was always awesome to see everybody out on the turf playing spike ball and games out on the turf. It's awesome. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and talk to Charlie about connecting learning to the real world. So, Charlie, tell us about a course or a project you're currently working on, maybe something different from a typical lecture, that has genuinely sparked your curiosity. How has it helped you connect your learning to the real world or a potential future career?
Yeah, thank you. So currently I sit as the treasurer of FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders of America. And this year, me and my fellow leaders were kind of challenged with having a project slash fundraiser that kind of fostered community engagement while like having fun, but also teaching people the principles of finance. And we eventually came to a stock market challenge where we're going to send a link out to the entire school, and we're going to have people participate in this challenge where we give them a set amount of money, and whoever ends up with the most after a set period of time wins a prize. And I have a little bit of experience with the stock market and finance. My dad has always really been into that, so I've kind of had my foot in the water a little bit. He's taught me a little bit, but I kind of realized that if I was gonna, forefront this project and help it run smoothly, I was gonna need to dive a little deeper into it and figure out more of the intricacies. So I started with just some surface level research about stock market and finances, and I actually started to find it a little more interesting than I thought it was gonna be, and I found myself researching things that were completely out of the scope of the project. Like for one example, I found myself like a week or two ago. I was watching a 20-minute long YouTube video on the Fed chair and what cutting and raising rates did. And I was kind of looking at myself, I'm like, what am I doing here? Right? This has nothing to do with school. But it kind of helped me realize that like I never really realized it, but like money and like the business world has really always been my passion. And since then, I've started looking at news articles about the financial market. I've been tracking individual stocks, earnings reports, and I've started to take some of my own money that I've earned and investing it into the stock market and just trying to learn about it. And it's also helped me learn, going into my junior year, all these thoughts about college. What are you going to do when you grow up? Kind of come in, and I had no clue. I mean, I kind of assumed I was going to do something with business, but as we all know, I mean, that's a huge field of study. But this project really helped me narrow it down to like I want to work with finance and like hopefully go to a Target Financial School and work on Wall Street one day. So yeah, it's a great project, and it's really helped me learn a lot about myself.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Charlie. That's awesome. All right, now we're going to talk to Sadie. So, Sadie, could you name a teacher, coach, or staff member who has been particularly influential or helpful to you this year, and tell us why? What did they do to make a difference?
This is such a difficult question because all of the staff, teachers, and my coaches have been incredibly supportive this year. But if I had to choose just one teacher, I would choose my math teacher this year, Mrs. Ray. So about a month ago, I had an operation on my arm, and I took a week off of school to, recover from that. And unfortunately for me, it was on my dominant hand, which meant that I couldn't write for a week or two. So before the surgery, I met up with my math teacher in advance to discuss how I would make up the work I was going to miss, the tests, and just overall my situation. I was overwhelmed by the support I felt after having a discussion with her and all of the creative accommodations she had provided for me. She made it clear that my health was going to be her main priority, and then I could wait until I was feeling better and all recovered when I returned to school to make up the exam and have a friend be a scribe for me. And I just found that like this solution was, I really appreciated it. So after my week of recovering from my surgery, she graciously let me take the exam during lunch in her classroom for the full 45-minute period, which a normal class would have. And since it was during lunch, that went into her own personal lunch period. And so her support, accommodations, and dedication to my circumstances, my health, and my education really moved me and allowed me to thrive in her class during a time where I was facing like personal challenges. So I just wanted to say I'm so thankful and lucky to have such amazing teachers like Mrs. Ray here at Unionville who truly care about me and my education. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Sadie. And I agree, Mrs. Ray is awesome. our last question is for Yara. So this year's district theme is gratitude. We know this is something you've been reflecting on and actually shared some very good ideas with our own Mr. Crater. Can you talk about the ways in which you'd like to make an impact on our school as it relates to gratitude?
Yeah, so thank you for asking. I think when I first heard that our theme was gratitude, it really got me thinking more than kind of some of the other themes have. And I felt like a lot of times at our school, there's so many essential people that play a role that we kind of overlook. Like, I can say this on behalf of a lot of students. I didn't even know that these meetings existed. Um, so I think that there's a lot of times that we have such important people that really care about us that we don't really notice. So what I thought about first was kind of our custodial staff, our security guards, and the main office ladies. I think that they're always the first people here and the last people here, and they have such an important role and so much pressure where they have to take care of all of us and make sure our safety. And I think without them, we probably wouldn't even be here right now. So I really was thinking that instead of just saying that we appreciate them, I wanted to show them how much gratitude we really had for them. So I talked to Mr. Crater and Mr. Peoples, and we wanted to have the students in our high school, everyone write personal letters to all of the staff here that we kind of maybe don't see every day in school and don't get the chance to say, hey, thank you for what you're doing. We appreciate you. And we plan to actually make a breakfast for them to really show them how much that we appreciate their work. And I think when I think of what impact I want to leave on this school, it's a show, especially with this theme that we have this year, that gratitude isn't something that we should just, talk about at the Thanksgiving dinner table, but it's something that we should participate in our lives every day. And I think that it's an important theme that we can take in our careers in the future. It's a skill that we can use that'll really help us navigate our world.
I love that idea that gratitude is something we should be participating in every day. And in line with that idea, thank you all so much for giving up your time tonight to be here and helping our community understand a little bit more about what it's like to be a student here at Unionville High School. So thank you.
All right, you guys crushed it. You're fantastic. I'm so proud of you. Well done. Before we wrap it up, though, so we just heard from our students, but Mr. Bresky, you were once in their shoes, the student at Unionville High School, now teacher. So if you could just tell us about your experience as a teacher at Unionville High School, maybe there's a piece of the Portrait of an Educator that resonates with you. We'll give you your turn now.
Thank you, Mr. Crater. So in thinking about our portrait of an educator and how what really stands out to me is I know we heard a little bit tonight about the high expectations that exist here at Unionville. And like many Unionville graduates, I remember my experience going to college and having the realization of, wow, I was so prepared for this because our school has such high expectations, right? But our portrait of an educator doesn't just talk about having high expectations. It's having high expectations to promote student growth. And so to be a part of a school community that really believes in the idea that we can do hard things, and we do hard things in the classroom and in the halls and in our clubs each and every day, that really stands out to me as something that's core to my teaching philosophy of promoting an environment where we're gonna have challenges, we're gonna work through hard things, but it's all gonna be to become better students, humans, and citizens on the other side of it. So that would be what I have to say.
Mr. Bresky, thank you so much. You were an amazing teammate, and you're an amazing teacher too. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who's here this evening supporting our school. My commitment to everybody in this room, everyone, is to continue strengthening our culture, the education of our students, and really the overall experience for our staff and for our students, making it the best school that we can. And so thank you for your time, your service, in support of our schools, and it was really an honor to be here in this role this evening. So with that said, I'll turn it back over to you, Dr. Hoffman.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Crater, and thank you, students and everybody that's here, Mr. Bresky, everybody's here to support them as well. I love how we ended that panel about gratitude as a way of being, right? It's not just a thing that we celebrate in November. And it's really cool to hear all the things that are going on here at the school, and kudos to you and your team. So with that, Dr. Barada, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, let's give one more round of applause for the high school team. And students and families, we have a long meeting ahead of us. We don't expect you to stay. You are welcome to leave now, or, I mean, you're welcome to stay, but we don't expect you to stay. So thank you very much. That's awesome. Yeah, no. No, we didn't. Exactly.
All energy still out there.
I know. All right, moving on to the next agenda item, which is recognition of outgoing school directors. So 3 of the school directors, Mary Kate Loomis, Elise Anderson, and Jeff Halrung. Tonight is their final meeting. And Ms. Talbert and I put a lot of time into thinking about what would be a nice way to honor them after their service. And we thought that we would take a moment to recognize each of them individually. And one of the remaining board members will speak about their service, kind of on behalf of all of the school board members and our admin team. And then we have a few awards to present after that. And then if the school directors would like to speak after that, they're welcome to, but I don't want to feel like you have too much pressure on you. So we are going to kick it off with Mary Kate Loomis, and Mr. Allen has a prepared comments.
Thank you, Dr. Barada. As a fellow member of what I like to refer to as the class of 23 on our school board, I'd like to honor the service of our own Mary Kate Loomis. Mary Kate has deep roots in the UCFSD community. She's one of the 2 UHS alumni on our current board, having moved into the district while in elementary school. In fact, she has the distinction of having learned in all 4 of the existing UCFSD buildings at the time. She attended Chadsworth Elementary School before becoming part of the inaugural 5th grade class at the then 4th and 5th grade Hillendale School. She continued to Unionville Middle and High Schools before earning her history degree at Penn State. Many of our community members might not know that she has continued a family tradition of service to our district. Her father, Bruce Swayze, was also served as one of our school board directors in the early 2000s. As far as I'm aware, they're the only father-daughter to have served on our board. Additionally, they both share the distinction of having served with another one of our retiring board members, our Captain Jeff Halrung, which makes him the only board member to have served with both a father and a daughter. When I decided to run for school board in early 2023, I first heard about Mary Kate a few months before I had the pleasure of meeting her. A mutual friend who teaches at Fairville Friends School told me that her friend Mary Kate was also running for the school board. "You're going to love Mary Kate," she said. "She's incredibly committed to the school and cares so much about the kids." I would soon learn just how right she was. After a career in banking and insurance, Mary Kate committed herself to raising her daughters and volunteerism and found her passion working with the students in our district. At the time she decided to run a write-in campaign for school board, which alone is a very daunting task, she had already spent 3 years serving on the Pocopson Elementary School PTO board, having been elected co-president for the previous 2 years. As anyone who has children in the district knows, perhaps the 2 most time-consuming and thankless volunteer roles are PTO board member and school board director. And Mary Kate is dedicated and just crazy enough to have done them simultaneously through her first year on the board. Since she apparently had a few hours during the day that weren't already occupied by these responsibilities, she also worked and continues to work as a substitute teacher in the district, primarily at Chadsworth Elementary School. During this time working as a sub, she realized that teaching and elementary education were her calling. I have it on good authority that she's made the right decision, because my daughter frequently excitedly tells me, "Daddy, Mrs. Loomis was my substitute today. She's the best." Or sometimes, "I saw Mrs. Loomis in the hall today." Not only is she a beloved substitute teacher in our district, but she's also a valued school board member who brings her unique perspective to the role. As the only one of us working in our schools as an educator on a regular basis, she gets to see the daily impact of the decisions we make as a board. This experience helps her ground our decisions, whether about policy or facilities, in the reality of our students and staff's lived experiences. As the board chair of the Communications Committee for the past 2 years, she's worked closely with Nikki LaRoya to improve the district's communication process. Notable contributions include looking to the future and drafting district and board calendars 2 years in advance, as well as helping craft our new Policy 803 Administrative Guideline 1, which created guidelines for the board meeting calendar. She was also a key member of last year's Kindness Committee, which developed a year-long program of recognizing and celebrating the kindness in our community, culminating in the Kindness Music Fest. Last fall, she began her studies to obtain her master's degree in education with the goal of becoming a full-time teacher. In fact, were she not pursuing a teaching career, she would probably have run for re-election and continue to serve on our board. While we're sorry for our loss on the board, we appreciate that she will be able to dedicate herself full-time to her studies, student teaching, and to what we're sure will be a successful teaching career where she will make a lasting impression on her students for years to come. Mary Kate, thank you for your tireless dedication to our UCFSD community. We appreciate the 2 years we've benefited from your service to the board, your speed in seconding motions, and the positive impact you've had and will continue to have on our students. Thank you.
Let me just give you this, and then it's your turn. See, she wants to talk really quickly.
Yes.
And I just wanted to jump in quickly while I have the opportunity, very quickly, but as is when people are leaving, I like to think of the first things that come to mind when I think of these individuals. So I did this very briefly for everybody here. But Mary Kate, the 4 things that popped into my mind were lights up the room, positive energy, love for the district, and bottomless handbag of bottled water. So thank you. Mary Kate will be an outstanding teacher in the very near future. I know that the students in her class will be eager to see her each day and work just as hard to please her as they do themselves. The school district that hires her will be very lucky to have her, as she is always making people and places. So thank you for your service.
Okay. Those who know me know I don't plan ahead per se. I think I sat down and tried to come up with what to say, but I kind of live in the moment and need to feel in the moment. So I just want to say thank you, Jody. That when you hear kind of all of it together, I sound like a pretty cool person. So thank you. Pat myself on the back. So just a couple of things. Just off the top of my head, I want to thank my family, mostly my husband, who is not here because he is with my children at dance. Thank you to Dr. Barada, who helped me get into this somehow. I don't know that I necessarily knew what I was getting into when I went for the write-in campaign, but it was beyond worth it. And I couldn't have done it without you. So thank you. All the canvassing, all the getting lost in Newland Township and whatnot. Jeff, when I got onto the board and I was getting a board buddy, I specifically asked for you. I know my father loved serving with you, and it was an honor to have you as my board buddy. You have been a tremendous example of everything that a board colleague should be, and have always been supportive. You are such a great listener, and the things you say just are so impactful, and you have made a tremendous influence on my life. To the administrative team and really to all the teachers in the district, thank you for being the people that you are and for being so committed to what you do and to this district. You serve as amazing examples. You are very much part of the reason why I want to go down the path I'm going down. It's inspiring every day to see what you do and how you do it. And I hope one day I can have an impact like you all do. the reason I got into this was for the kids. As Jody mentioned, I've been substituting now for 4 years. They're my why, my own children, the children in the schools. When I sit here and we talk about policies, I see faces. I don't see words on a paper. I do think about the impact that the policies have on the kids that we serve. I grew up in this community. I went to school in this community. I live here now with my children. It's truly a full circle moment. And the community is very much at the forefront of everything I thought of. To Miss LaRoya, we kind of went through this together. You were new, I was new. It was a kind of a great pairing. So thank you for being a great partner for the last 2 years. And to my board colleagues, thank you for making this the experience that it's been, which has been so fulfilling in ways that I don't think I knew I would have. I don't think this is what I thought it was going to be. It was so much more and so much better. And I think having sat in these seats, I will have a different perspective when I do actually get into the classroom to understand what goes on behind the scenes. I think it's going to make me a more well-rounded educator when I get to that point. So I say thank you to all of you. It's been fun spending Mondays together, but I look forward to spending Mondays with my family. So thank you. And thank you everyone for your kind words. And just thank you for all you do, because for those who don't sit in this seat, it is a tremendous amount of work, but it is so worth it. So thank you.
Excellent. All right, we're going to move on to Miss Anderson, and Dr. Key has prepared some remarks.
So dear friends, colleagues, members of the Unionville Chatsworth community, we gather here tonight with mixed emotions as we bid a fond farewell to a truly exceptional leader, my dear friend and neighbor, Elise Anderson. She's stepping down after a decade of dedicated service to our community as school board director. 10 years is a significant commitment. It's the length of time it takes to see a first grader through to the high school. And at the end of 10 years, Elise has been there, a steady hand and a compassionate heart guiding our district. Her journey began midterm when a position opened up following Dr. Keith Canassa's departure. Elise, with her characteristic blend of willingness and civic duty, put her name in the hat. From that initial appointment, serving alongside respected colleagues like Jeff Halrong, Steve Simonson, Greg Linder, Michael Rock, and Victor Pui, she went on to run and win 2 full terms. Elise has always been the kind of person who brings her whole self to the role, a formidable intellect paired with an expansive, empathetic heart. She's incredibly smart, a nonlinear thinker who's well-read, and an idea person. Yet she's always approached her position with genuine humility, focusing on the big picture and ensuring we're all in good hands. One of Elise's greatest strengths has been her unwavering support for the school administration. She always understands the importance of the board's role in governance, carefully avoiding overstepping her bounds and allowing her professional administrators to shine and lead. Her passions are many, but the Curriculum Council was always closest to her heart. She served on it as a committee member for 5 years, which I think Dr. Hoffman was mentioning that earlier. Before even joining the school board, a testament to her deep, long-standing commitment to the quality of education in our schools. Her impact, however, stretched across many areas. She served on communications committee, and during the darkest days of COVID-19 pandemic, she worked with Justin, leveraging technology to ensure every single student remained connected and engaged in learning. She also co-founded the Wellness Council with Leah Ryder, placing student well-being at the forefront of our district's priorities. Most recently, she was an integral part of the team that ensured a smooth and successful transition for our new superintendent. She's very proud of that. Elise's connection to this community is deeply personal. She grew up here, a proud alum of the Unionville Chatsworth School District. Her parents, Norm and Sally, still reside in the district, and I see Norm there in the audience. She and her husband, Paul, raised their 3 children, Kiki and Chloe, who have already graduated, and Leo, a senior, who's set to graduate next year from our school. and Paul's there too in the audience. She has been given a decade of her lifetime and dedication to the very fabric of our community. On a personal note, Elise is more than a board member, a board director to me. She's my neighbor and a great friend. And she's the reason I'm in this position today. She's been my sounding board and a source of strength, always there to pick me up whenever I needed her. So tonight, I stand here to offer my deepest thanks. Thank you, Elise, for your tireless service. And thank you, Paul, Kiki, Chloe, Leo, Norm, and Sally for sharing her with us for the past 10 years. We've been incredibly lucky to have Elise as a friend, a community member, an exceptional school director. We wish her the very best in her future endeavors, knowing that her impact will be felt in these halls for years to come. Thank you, Elise.
Wait, you have kids in the district? So we have a school board medal for Miss Anderson as well. And as I'm bringing that over, if you want to read the PSBA note.
Absolutely. So while Dr. Barat is bringing that over, PSBA's Honor Roll of School Board Service Program proudly celebrates school board directors for their longstanding dedication and service to their districts and communities. Through this recognition, we express our sincere appreciation for their commitment to public education and the students they serve. Now in its 41st year, the Honor Roll recognizes school directors at 5-year service intervals, starting at 5 years and continuing every 5 years thereafter. Eligible school directors receive an Honor Roll certificate to commemorate their service. So, Ms. Anderson, I have your certificate for 10 years, so I'll bring that over. And Elise, I have the same game for you, very briefly. I don't know how to put some of these things into words. People have been part of my life for 14 years, 15 years that I won't see on a regular basis anymore. So I'm doing my best to keep it really brief, but I don't know how. I will try. Elise, 4 things that come to mind: champion, confidant, nature lover, and active listener. Losing someone is easy to talk to and who listens to everyone's perspective. It will be very hard to fill that void. Always a champion for me and the students of this district, and one of the few people who gets me in geeking out in environmental science on a regular basis. So, Elise, thank you so much for your service. You mean so much to us and to me personally. Congratulations.
Gosh, I've said to some of my colleagues earlier that it didn't really hit me till I got here, and now I feel very overwhelmed in a little bit sad, but it's time. It's my time. It's been 10 years. It's been 15 years with curriculum, as Dr. Key. I want to thank Dr. Key for your beautiful words and thank my colleagues. And I'll note that we chatted last night, and I said to Dr. Key, I mean, I've been saying things for 10 plus years. I don't really feel the need to say anything tonight per se. And she said, no, you should. And you should write it down. So thank you, Dr. Key, for encouraging me to write it down. So I'm just going to read what I kind of put my thoughts on paper today. Over the last 10 years, I've had actually 16 different board colleagues, and I've learned different things from each of them. At times we were aligned on issues, at other times we weren't, but every single colleague brought in wisdom, patience, and a steadfast commitment to upholding the academic excellence and fostering new initiatives to build greater intellectual, psychological, and physical skills that our students can carry beyond 12th grade. All while balancing the needs of our greater community for fiscally responsible and transparent budgeting. Thank you all. And to all of my former colleagues, thank you all for your service. Special thank you also to former board members Kathy Doe and Dr. Corinne Sweeney. Although I didn't serve directly with either of them at the same time, Kathy was actually the person who got me to apply for the board. And Corinne has been a mentor to me all these years. So I just want to shout out. I do want to say thank you to the members of the administrative team. You continuously and tirelessly work toward improving all areas of the district, and you support and empower our teachers and our staff. Dr. Hoffman, since you first came to our district in 2012, you said it's been 14 years about, you've been a role model and a visionary. You've been inspiring students, teachers, faculty, and staff by focusing on so many things that have mattered so deeply. As I leave this board, I'm truly grateful to have you leading the district. And I know we're in great hands, and I'm really looking forward to the evolution of your One Unionville vision. I want to give a special shout out to my administrative liaisons, Dr. Ryder, who we've wished her well in her path. I worked with her on establishing Wellness Council. Mr. Webb, our technology leader, as Dr. Key mentioned, we worked together during the days of COVID. He is amazing at what he does. And I think he knows from past things I've said how I feel about that. And Mr. Audevard. I spent the last couple of years working with you on curriculum, and Mr. Audevard, you're both exceptionally smart and exceptionally a kind person. And it's been my pleasure to work with you. I want to express my deepest gratitude to this community. I grew up here, as Dr. Key said. Members of this community over the last 10 years have shared many thoughts and ideas with me in my role as a board member. And it's given me a much broader perspective on what matters to people here. It's also highlighted to me what a special community this is. People in this community care deeply about education and are willing to invest their valuable time and energy in trying to improve the district, which is something we should never take for granted. It's not like this everywhere. This community is very special. My deepest gratitude to our teachers and staff for your authentic passion in educating, inspiring, and empowering our students each and every day to become the best versions of themselves as they grow up. I think we saw a great example with what Mr. Crater brought us tonight. And Mr. Crater knows I'm such a big fan and continue to be. I hope we can all continue to embrace the way our students can inspire us to be better adults. I want to thank my family, those here and those not here, for supporting all the time and energy I've dedicated to this for the last 10 years. So thank you to my dad and to my husband, to my kids not here, my mom's out of town. And then the last thing I just want to say is has to do with just a thought about happiness. I don't think happiness is a state of being. I think it's actually the outcome of intentional actions that we take. And in my personal experience in my life, it's been the outcome of helping others. I've lived in Unionville for over 50 years, and I grew up watching, my dad's here, watching my parents volunteer in this community. When I agreed to put my name in for school board, I had no idea what to expect, kind of like Ms. Loomis said. And it has also been one of the most fulfilling experiences of my life. So I'm truly grateful to have served on this board, and I thank all of you. And that's all.
Wow. Okay. Moving on to Jeff Hellrung. And Ms. Talbert has some words prepared for Mr. Hellrung.
Tough acts to follow. I'll do my best to capture quite an amazing man. And I'd like to welcome Jeff's wife, Liz Hellrung. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's nice to have you here. Tonight, we celebrate the service of someone whose impact on this district is immeasurable, Jeff Hellrung. Jeff's contributions stretch across decades, but for many of us, they are also deeply personal. Jeff is truly a learning machine. His path from the Naval Academy to fighter pilot to classroom teacher to 20 years on this board give him the rare ability to see issues from every angle. But what has always stood out to me is that Jeff never relied on past experience alone. He is endlessly curious. Whether exploring best practices for student wellness or thoughtfully studying district operations or advocating for citizens, Jeff's decisions have always been grounded in evidence and an openness to learning. One of the clearest examples is his relentless study of adolescent sleep science and educational research, which became the foundation for his decade-long advocacy for later school start times. His approach was never ideological, always evidence-based, always rooted in learning, and always focused on what would most benefit students. Jeff embodies servant leadership. He has mentored nearly every person who has joined this board. I can personally say that I would not be the board member I am today without Jeff's wise tutelage. He listens, he asks thoughtful questions, and he always makes the time. His service extended well beyond board meetings, though. Jeff stepped into major responsibilities. Board president, guiding us through some of the most challenging years in our district's history. The Contract Negotiations Committee, where his steadiness, preparation, and fairness helped build trust and move us forward. The CCIU Board of Directors, which he joined in November 2013 and assumed the role of vice president in February of 22, Jeff has guided the CCIU through complex challenges with wisdom and integrity. Lastly, and this is a fun one, when he heard PIAA was short on athletic officials, he simply decided to go through the lengthy process and officiate football and softball games. That's who Jeff is. When there's a need, he steps forward. He says, "How can I help?" And then he does it. Jeff is also a brave visionary who never hesitates to take on the hard issues. He led significant efforts to strengthen transparency and fiscal discipline in our district, work that has had a lasting impact on both our governance and our community's trust. His advocacy began and shaped some of the initiatives we are most proud of today. One is our board member knowledge and decorum. Jeff created a new director onboarding process, and he frequently takes the initiative to help us continue to be a high-performing board full of agreeable disagreement. Later, secondary school times, which recognize the research and optimized brains for learning. Portrait of a Graduate, which defines the skills our students need for a thriving future. Lunch and Learn, a program that provided students more agency over their own wellness and their learning. Full Day Kindergarten, a transformational step for early learning. And a restorative approach to student discipline, which recognizes adolescent development and a need for second chances, and that we can help our students. These are just a few of the initiatives that will forever be associated with Jeff's time on the board. He is courageous. He has never shied away from the hardest issues. During the COVID-19 pandemic, one of the most divisive eras in public education, he led this district with remarkable calm, dignity, and moral courage. Even when personally attacked during meetings, Jeff never responded in kind. He modeled the leadership he wished to see, patient, wise, and centered on students above all else. Finally, Jeff is a collaborator in every sense. He builds coalitions. He seeks common ground. He brings people together, even when they strongly disagree. Whether they're navigating complex county-wide initiatives, presenting at state conferences, or guiding our own board through difficult decisions, Jeff is a unifier. His leadership through respectful dialogue has maintained trust even in turbulent times. And across the county and state, leaders rely on his steady judgment, his balanced perspective, and his willingness to share what he has learned for the good of other districts. Jeff, your legacy will be felt in our policies, our programs, our fiscal discipline, and our culture. But for me, and I think for many of us, your greatest legacy is how you have shaped people. You have given generously of your wisdom, your time, your example, and your heart. On behalf of the board and personally, thank you for your leadership, your mentorship, and your unwavering commitment to the students of this district and our community. Lastly, please don't be a stranger.
Okay, and as I was reading the PSBA awards earlier for Elise, apparently, if you hit 20 years, you get a very big glass award. So, so as I mentioned, in 5-year increments, when you get to the 20-year, you get the big prize here. So I'm going to give that to Mr. Hellrung as well. Jeff, I promise I wrote these things before people talked. It's amazing because I think what it says is the things that come to mind when people think of you, you hope that they're congruent, right? And it's awesome when they are, because that just means you're so consistent. So Jeff, what comes to mind when I think of you are captain, role model, always a fan, and how can I help? I can't put into words what you've meant to me and how you've shown me how to be a servant leader. You always said you would be at the meeting whenever I was named superintendent, wherever that was. Thank you for keeping your promise and for investing in me. Congratulations, Jeff.
Thank you, Aaron and Tim. That's very, very moving and very touching, and somehow what I expected from you both. It's been a labor of love. And I just want to say as many kind things as you've said about what I've done. I've received much more than I've given over these 20 years, starting with the education of my children, Liz and I's children, Joe and Lonnie, who graduated in 1995 and then 2000. It was this school district who empowered them to succeed in life and contribute to society, which they're doing. When I was in high school, the president was John F. Kennedy. And he once gave a speech when he said, if you're ever asked, what did you accomplish in your life? Kennedy said, I served in the United States Navy. And I can say, not only did I serve in the United States Navy, but I served the children in the community of Unionville-Chaddsford School District. So I just want to recognize some people. First of all, my dear wife, Liz, sitting here in her first board meeting. We started strong 50 years ago, and we both agree that every decade has been better than the one before. So for those of you who are married, good news for you. She's been patient, supportive, but really got involved in the school district only through voting. And I always wondered, did she vote for me? Probably, but when I lost, she wasn't disappointed. Let me just say a brief word about each of the superintendents that I've been associated with, that I've served with, starting with Dr. Garris. He taught me to deal with critics of goodwill, by meeting with them, by opening your mind, by hearing what they have to say and engaging in dialogue with them and hopefully learning from each other. Dr. Gring, an all-around talent, or a Renaissance man. Then came Dr. Kenny, who I did not serve with because that was the 8-year period when I was teaching high school and not serving on the school board. But I do know that Dr. Kenny gave us a necessary academic reset. The district at the time was not happy, thought that we were underperforming educationally. And Dr. Kenny came in and all of a sudden we were a top tier district academically. So he's now my neighbor in right down the street. Then Dr. Sharon Parker, the great communicator. Although we reached academic heights, we needed a people-centered culture reset. And Dr. Parker gave us that. Dr. Sandville, he showed us that we can preserve our core educational mission and still stimulate progress and innovation. And it seemed like every year there was something big. Full day kindergarten, school start time, portrait of a graduate, portrait of an educator, lunch and learn, a disciplinary reset, and wonderful work on our mission and values that didn't seem major at the time. And I know Ms. Talbert was had her fingerprints all over that, but an awesome thing because we kind of had a little bit of a hole in our heart at that time. We needed to really think about what our values really are. And then that becomes the North Star that drives everything from goals to hiring, everything we do for students as a district. And there were four: educational excellence, a superior school experience, a people-centered culture, and principled stewardship. And finally, Dr. Hoffman, an outstanding educational leader, successful teacher, successful principal, successful administrator and assistant superintendent, and his magic sauce, a relationship expert. And he is going to be guaranteed successful based on everything that he brings to the table. I want to recognize our board secretary, Linda Miller. The other day I needed something and I went to a certain place where it was supposed to be and it wasn't there. And I mentioned it to her and she called me back about 60 seconds later with what I needed. And she's done that for the whole time that she's been here. So awesome. Let me say a few words about our administrative team, starting with our principals. And like Dr. Hoffman, I'll just maybe just say the first thing that comes to mind. Dr. Lafferty over at Unionville Elementary, our veteran and a Unionville lifer. I hope she stays forever. Mr. Light over at Happy Hillendale, our prodigy. I thought that Mr. Light, by the time I'm speaking, would be a superintendent somewhere. And here he sits as principal at Hillendale. Why is that? Because they won't let him leave. And if he left, it wouldn't be Happy Hillendale anymore. So maybe he's found his happy place, and the staff and the students and the parents all recognize that. So you have a prodigy at Hillendale, just be happy about that. Mrs. Clark over at Chadsford Elementary, what comes to mind with her? By the way, all these principals were wonderful teachers. All of them are awesomely dedicated to our students. So that just goes without saying. But they say sometimes coaches are players' coaches. Principal Clark is a teacher's principal. She had her chops as a supporter of teachers, who gets teachers, who supports teachers, who understands teachers, who helps teachers before she ever came here in the Pendelco School District. And she's just done the same thing since she's been here. What if we could pick any school district in southeastern Pennsylvania and go there and find the best elementary school principal and just sort of kidnap that person and just tell that person, come over to our school district, we have an opening. Would that be okay? That happened to us with Dr. Savage. Something went wrong at Wallingford Swarthmore, and somehow, some way, their best principal, one of the best principals in southeastern Pennsylvania, appeared on our doorstep, and we hired him, and he's just as awesome as advertised. So how do you beat that? Over at the middle school, Mr. Allen, our high energy principal, super focused on the student experience and on our children at the middle school, and maybe our highest potential of all our principals. Mr. Crater, born to be principal of Unionville High School, but he didn't know it. But quite a few of us knew it before he did. We had to be patient. We had to wait for the right time. And when the right time came, and as he gradually understood what he was born to do, he eventually did apply and was an easy selection to be principal. I was at a superintendent meeting in Harrisburg last week, and an outgoing superintendent was honored for his lifetime accomplishments, mainly as a superintendent. And when he spoke mainly about his experience as a high school principal, and said that was his most fun, that was his biggest job, his most important job, his most fulfilling job, maybe his hardest job, but it was all worth it. So I think that's definitely going to be your experience, Mr. Crater. You were born to be here, and it was wonderful for me to see you slowly realize that and to end up in exactly the right position. To our administrative team, our business office, our communications, human resources, technology, the whole team. We don't have a single weak link. Building and grounds, it's an awesome team. To our teachers, that's the most, when we study student accomplishment and we look for correlations and connections, the number one is the classroom teacher. So we get that here. And we've got an awesome group of classroom teachers. When we're hiring teachers, we hire the best teacher. We don't hire the least expensive teacher. We hire the best teacher that we can find. And if they come in to us with 15 years of experience, we pay them at step 15. We recognize all their educational credentials, everything like that. That's the most important thing we do. That's what we've done all along. They're the ones who are mainly responsible for those first two values, the excellence in education and the superior school experience, and they do a great job at it, and we appreciate it. I've been in our classrooms many times, all of our schools, and I've always been impressed by what our teachers are doing and also by the engagement that our students have shown me. Likewise, we've got an awesome group of counselors, social workers, psychologists in our school district, and they care for the whole student. To our support staff, starting with our bus drivers, who are the first ones to greet our students with a smile in the morning and the last ones that they see at the end of the day, to our building and grounds, to our paraprofessionals, our personal care assistants, those who run our offices, provide physical security, technology support. That's the glue that holds everything together, often underappreciated, but critically needed as well. To our citizens, thank all of you for supporting our students. We understand that you have a high tax burden, that you're enabling the school district to do the most important job in our community, to change lives, to give our children an opportunity to be successful in life and contribute to society. And you're getting excellent value for your money. Board members will engage with you in good faith. Give them the benefit of the doubt. If you hear concerning rumors, come and ask them. They'll engage with you. They'll give you a prompt, polite, and comprehensive response. But why should you believe in them? Because they believe in you. Moving on to my board colleagues, I'd like to just mention a few, and I kind of hate to do this because I agree with Ms. Anderson that they've all contributed in their own way, but just a few that were really special. The late Frank Murphy from Chadds Ford, an engineer, a lawyer, just an awesome individual, great intellect, great heart, great leader. We miss him dearly. My friend, my longtime friend, Keith Knaus, firstly as a critic of the fiscal practices of our school district, then as a fellow school board member. Awesome guy, principal guy, energetic guy, wonderful friend. Vic Dupuis, who showed me how to be a board president. And I'd like to recognize a person who I ran against when there was one seat open in the cycle, when there was one seat open. I ran against someone named Dr. Corinne Sweeney. And she beat me. And I read about that the next week in the Kennett paper, back when we had a Kennett paper. And the writer was talking to Corinne Sweeney, and one of the main things that came out was there was a very, very sad person, her daughter. And she was sad for me, though her mom won, because she was just raised that way and she just had that in her heart to be a compassionate person. She shouldn't have been so sad, because the better person won that election. As I found out a couple years later, when I finally won and got to serve with Corinne Sweeney, that's when I found out it's better that she won. She was an awesome board member for 16 years and an awesome board president. Our students on the school board, of which Mr. Bretsky was one. In most school districts, the students on the school board are sort of honorary positions. They sit there and they give a report. Well, there's a prom, there's a football game, that's it. That's not how we roll here. Our students are engaged. They deliberate with us. They advise us. They tell us what's going on honestly, from the student point of view. They participate in committees. It was our students who gave us the school start time initiative. They're the ones who created it. They're the ones who gave the evidence for it. They're the ones both here and at the Chester County Intermediate Unit who started the whole thing rolling. And when I went to the Chester County Intermediate Unit to talk to that student group of student leaders who did that study that unlocked the door for the school start time initiative, I realized that none of them would benefit from that. They were just idealistically doing it for thousands of students to come. And that's just how our students and how the other students in Chester County roll on that. And the day we started school later, we had a better quality of life for every single middle school and high school student. And maybe it preserved the very life of some of them, because sleep deprivation can be so dangerous. So thank you to our students on the school board, Cushy and Lincoln, and all of those who have come before. You do awesome work. We rely on you and your full-time valid contributors, and we are not just resume stuffers for you. We are partners with you, and we appreciate you, and I know you work with us very well. As to our school board members, Elise, my friend, my confidant, the best athlete on the school board. Sorry, guys, that's the way it is. When Elise came on the school board as a Democrat, and I'm a registered Republican, I had in my mind, wouldn't it be awesome if one day I could run with Elise on one ticket of a Republican and a Democrat, proving that this is a nonpartisan position. And we did that 4 years ago. And we were both elected, and that was my dream come true. I don't know if it'll happen, folks in Region C, but or any other region, but it happened here. And we were both endorsed by both parties. So that was awesome. Great memory. I remember writing a letter to a boy named Leo, 8 years old, when he was sad because his mom was away at school board meetings. And I wrote a letter and told him why. And he wrote back to me and said, "I'm okay now, Mr. Hellrung. I know that she's doing community service, and that's really important." So, Leo, I picked up with you at age 8, and now you're a senior in high school, and you're doing great. And Elise, our book club is still on. So after this, we won't be doing school board business, but our book club is on, and we already have our first book picked. Rashi, our engineer, our entrepreneur, our environmental conscience on an issue that also should be nonpartisan, stewardship of our environment. Thank you for your wonderful work and advocacy. Steve, our medical doctor, our pandemic expert, though some of our citizens disagreed. The voice of calm, reasonable, moderate, just an awesome, centering, stabilizing, valuable force on the school board. And he keeps winning elections by landslides, so he'll probably win 2 or 3 more and serve far longer than I. Jody, maybe our most highly motivated, high energy school board member, the one who reminds me the most of me in my early years on the school board. Wants to know everything, wants to do everything, wants to help everywhere, volunteers for everything, highly responsive to citizens, most wants to participate and contribute, and he does, and it's appreciated. Well done. Brian, our fiscal expert. Every board needs one. You're ours. You've done great with that. You're an independent thinker, our most fearless board member on matters of principle. We need that as well. Well done on that. Don't lose it. Mary Kate, our only teacher on the board, highly conscientious, hardworking. She took a stand on contentious issues. She didn't pull back because she had less experience. She stepped right up and said what she had to say, thought about things carefully, expressed herself, took her position, whether it was the minority position or the majority position. Very thoughtful, very wise. I did serve with her father, an excellent school board member. And I want to say to her father, Bruce, she has met or exceeded the standard that you set. And that means mission accomplished for Dad. That's what every good dad and mom want for their children, and he got it in Mary Kate. To Tori and Aaron, the best leadership team that I've seen in my 35 years of closely following our school board here. Aaron, our unicorn in intelligence, in relationships, in listening, in aesthetics, a friend forever. But I have to admit, I failed with you because I've tried, as long as I've known you, to find something you're not good at. And I'm not able to do that. So tonight, I officially give up. Tori, a very special leader, highly principled, high character, awesome communicator, patient, tough when necessary, tireless worker, and just a wonderful leader and school board president. Hold on to her, folks. Thank you for replacing me, by the way, on the Chester County Intermediate Unit Board, and keep it the #1 intermediate unit in Pennsylvania. That's awesome. So I'll just finish with some advice, just a few things. Hold on to those mission and values. Keep that at the center of everything you do. As long as your superintendent is aligned with that, support your superintendent and your administrative team. Continue to be responsive to the community. Be brave in situations that call for being brave. It happened to us in many things. School start time was a big lift, required going against a large portion of the population that didn't understand the need for that yet. The Longhorn Project, maybe the middle school project is one of those where you're going to have to stand up and do the right thing and be brave. And finally, for our sake and for public education in general, on my class ring from the Naval Academy at my class crest, the words that are engraved are non-sibi, not self. If we're going to be successful, if public education is going to be successful, non-sibi is important. If we can put students first, not self, the mission first, not our personal circumstances and personal goals, that's our best chance to be successful. And ironically, probably the best shot at happiness and fulfillment individually as well, by not aiming for it, but instead taking a non-sibi approach. That's how you best get there. So we're in good hands now. We've got the superintendent, the administrative team, the teachers, wonderful school board. We have 3 solid replacements for those who are leaving. So I just wish you all, as we say in the Navy, fair winds and following seas. Thank you all.
Get a little nervous when you turn the page. 20 years deserves our attention for as long as you want to give it. Moving on to our student representative report.
Thank you, Dr. Brada, and I just wanted to thank everyone on the board. And in the short time I've been here, everyone has just brought a light to the room, and I know that you all care about the board. So thank you, everyone, for your service. Thank you, Mr. Halloran, Miss Anderson, Miss Loomis, and good luck. And to start our report, we just wanted to thank Mr. Crater and the rest of the amazing Unionville High School team for hosting this month's meeting. We and the rest of the UHS students have been looking forward to sharing what UHS is all about and all the incredible work that the UHS staff, students, and administrators have accomplished. Getting started with a couple general items for the district. Next week on Monday, November 24th and Tuesday, November 25th, students from kindergarten to 8th grade will have a half day for conferences. Additionally, all students will have a half day next Wednesday, November 26th, and the district will be closed for Thanksgiving break for the rest of that week. Student submissions to the annual holiday card design contest are due on Sunday, November 30th. And then moving on to updates across the district, at UHS, students continue to work hard in the classroom, and teachers are coming up with creative lesson plans moving into the second quarter. Aligning perfectly with the district's year of gratitude and November being the month of gratitude, students are engaging in the library's Thank a Staff Member, Win a Pie event, and sending gratitude grams on Thank You Thursdays. The names for those initiatives are great. Make sure to look out for the PTO's art gala, as Mr. Crater brought up as well, on November 21st and 22nd, with the mix of community and student artwork. November has also been a great month for student activities at UHS. Fall sports have concluded amazing seasons, and winter sports are now underway as well. And also the fall play of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein wrapped up this weekend. It was an amazing and creative performance that many of the members of the community enjoyed. UCFSD also hosted a robotics scrimmage, which 2 district teams and 20 out-of-district teams attended, with UHS Team Silverwolves taking first place. Last but not least, UHS juniors took second place at the Hack the Valley programming competition at Microsoft's Great Valley office. Another big focus at UHS has been on college and career readiness. The counseling department has pioneered their new career speaker series, starting out with Lieutenant Governor Kyle Evans Gay, and then have some exciting new speakers lined up every month. Additionally, administration hosted their first sophomore seminar focused on thriving as a sophomore through self-awareness, individual values, and goal setting, and it was well received by students. The Patton Middle School students have also been enjoying lots of fun activities and opportunities, like the recent pep rally celebrating their fall sports teams. In addition, Patton hosted the Community Trunk or Treat in partnership with the Great Magazine. They've also been raising cans for the KACS food cupboard this week, with an additional 372 pounds of donations at their football game alone. Looking forward, middle schoolers are participating in student-led conferences throughout the week of Thanksgiving in order to optimize their education. The entire UCFSD community can look forward to the middle school musical this year, which Patton recently announced to be Shrek. And moving on to the elementary schools with Unionville Elementary, UE students, families, teachers, and administrators have been enjoying festive activities throughout the building. Firstly, families attended the annual Fall Festival and Fun Run, a great opportunity for community engagement. Grade level classrooms competed in a pumpkin decorating contest, which allowed students to connect and express their creativity. Through their Halloween parade and classroom parties, UE has also collected food donations for KACS. The parent-teacher conferences are upcoming with a focus on showing gratitude to everyone in the school community. And the first week of December will include 2 days of winter workshop and a student concert. I'll now pass it over to Kashi for the rest of the elementary schools. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, starting off across our elementary schools, Veterans Day was honored with meaningful assemblies and recognition events. Students and families were invited to submit photos of veterans and their family. Many schools hosted receptions and visiting services for veterans. And each building held its own ceremony on November 11th to recognize the veterans in our community. Veterans were also introduced to students and staff personally, and families were able to participate in slideshows, displays, and in-person events throughout the buildings. All right, at Pocopson, they are looking ahead to several exciting events as we move through November and early December.
On November 21st, first grade classrooms will welcome families for a poetry reading that showcases the students' fall writing work, all fall themed, of course. In early December, the school will hold its K through 3 winter concerts on December 5th, celebrating student musicians across the primary grades. Additionally, from December 1st to 5th, students will have the opportunity to shop in the annual holiday gift shop. And at CFES, student ambassadors have been leading a food and candy drive in support of KCS, running from October 31st through November 11th. This initiative ties into the school's 100-year celebration with a goal of collecting 100 boxes of donations for local families. This month also includes several school-wide events, a student in-school assembly on November 5th, the third grade readathon on November 14th, and November 21st marking the final day of fall student activities before the holiday season begins. And finally, at Hillendale, they are continuing their strong commitment to community support through their holiday giving initiative. The school's collecting boxed cake mixes through December 8th to assist the KCS in filling more than 800 Christmas baskets for local families in need. Families are also encouraged to donate Giant or Walmart gift cards, which will help promote perishable items not included in the box donations. This effort also reflects Hillendale's ongoing dedication to supporting neighbors during the holiday season. While I have you all here, I would also just like to echo Lincoln's comments about our board directors, Ms. Anderson, Ms. Loomis, and Mr. Hellrung. Our time together has been far too short and yet perfect. I hope to have even a slight percentage of your character in my future. I will take all the things that we have shared in my time and your time that I have had, that I'm honored and privileged to have had as we both continue on. So thank you. That concludes our report.
Thank you very much. Excellent report. We've come to the time for community comments. Any community members would like to make public comment? Seeing none, we will move to school director comments, beginning with Mr. Schartz.
Thank you, Dr. Barada. First, let me thank Mr. Crater for hosting us this evening. Great to see you again. We miss you, so always good to have you back. It's almost like you've been at that mic before. Also, thank you to the students. Every time we go into the schools, we see presentations, and it just reinvigorates me to see the concepts of what we talk about on this board come to life. And the students who presented today, I think, did a phenomenal job of uplifting me to know that that's what we're producing. So keep nurturing that, and we'll be very happy as a school board. I want to take just a couple of moments to acknowledge my three departing colleagues. I'm going to do it in a slightly different format, though. I'm going to say comments that I think weave between all three of you rather than anything individually. If I had to create a portrait of a school director, my first concept would be stewardship. I've talked about that several times on this board. And I think each of you embody the very essence of what stewardship is all about. Stewardship is balancing the needs of competing constituencies in our school district, whether it's internal people like our faculty, our staff, our administration, our students, obviously, our parents, our tax-paying community, citizens at large in the Unionville-Chadds Ford School District. That's a tough task because not all of the time are those interests aligned. Even within those groups, we hear disagreements about what the right thing for this school district should be. And we get sent here to make the hard decisions to try to balance that. And as if that isn't hard enough on its face, not only do we have to think about the voices of the people who are here and now, but we also have to be thinking about those same constituencies in the future and balancing their interest and what they need for a school district and what investments we have to make in order to get from here to there. It's a tough job. And I think all three of you have embraced that challenge and brought a real high level of commitment to stewardship of our school district. And for that, I'm very, very grateful. Before I sat in this chair, I was out there watching you. And I knew that I could be a part of this because you embraced that core concept of stewardship. And so I thank you for that, not as a school board director, but as a member of this community. The other comment that I want to make is that as a colleague, I want to thank you for how we have on occasion disagreed. You have always been respectful, empathetic, intellectually honest, and curious, willing to compromise when possible, and always true to our fiduciary responsibilities. At a time when our nation's political discourse has veered in new directions, you've each been what some called old-fashioned. Ideas of how government should work could take lessons about how we operate and how you have conducted yourself here on this board. I like to think that what we're doing is a better way of doing it, but it takes all of us to work together, and nobody can go off the reservation with that concept. Everyone has to participate. And so for me, as your board colleague, I want to thank you for being part of what I think is good government. Good government. And I really appreciate that from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Creator, and thank you to the students. And thank you, Mr. Schwartz. I have said to you many times that you have a way of articulating things that I feel and hear, and you are excellent at it. So right back at you.
I feel like definitely a turning point today. I'm gonna miss all three of you very, very much. I don't know what a school board looks like, without Mr. Halrung. It just doesn't exist for me, and without Miss Anderson. So I'm definitely gonna miss you guys, and please don't be strangers. I'm gonna throw parties, and please show up.
Thank you, Mr. Creator, for hosting us, and to all the students and on the panel and Mr. Bresky, that like Mr. Schwartz said, it never ceases to impress me when I see our students present, whether that's at fifth grade UE and fifth grade student council giving a presentation, or whether it's a panel of our high schoolers talking about their experience here. It really is heartwarming and reinforcing for why we do what we do. I would also just like to again thank all three of our departing colleagues. I won't belabor, but thank you all for all of your service. I will miss all of you. I thought I had you ready to run for another term back in like January. So, along those, I would also like to congratulate our own Dr. Simonson on his reelection. I'm looking forward to having another 4 years with him in the corner over here. And I'd also like to extend a welcome to our soon-to-be newest board members, Mr. Everett, Ms. Litvin, and Ms. Elks. I look forward to starting to work with you in person when we get together next month after you've been officially sworn in. For those of you who have taken an eagle-eyed approach at looking at tonight's agenda, you'll notice that there's not a legislative report, which normally comes during board meeting, but I gave it last week during the work session because at last week's work session, we still did not have a passed state budget. And we also, we were ready to discuss and potentially pass a resolution today. We have pulled that resolution because apparently us talking about making a resolution was enough to get Harrisburg together and to pass a state budget. So the good news is we do have a state budget, and having looked through it, it does appear that the district will see some savings, maybe perhaps around 40 grand or so in terms of cyber charter from what we were initially expecting. So we have a state budget, we have a federal budget. Things are going a little bit better now. Thank you.
Mr. Crater, thank you for hosting us, for giving us your insights and perspectives, as well as having the students share their insights, and also Gavin giving us the student to faculty perspective as well. To our departing colleagues, thank you for your hard work, your service on the board, but also thank you for your collegiality as we've taken on the tasks of the board. It makes a difference, and I think it's made for an example of government the way it should be. Perhaps the biggest compliment I can think to give you as you depart is your efforts have made a difference, and a positive difference. And of that, I think you should all be very proud, and we'll miss you on the board.
First, I want to congratulate the cast and crew of Frankenstein for a great performance. I actually didn't see it, and I'm sad that I missed it because I heard it was really good. And Lincoln, congrats to the Silver Wolves. That's fantastic. Mr. Crater, this is exactly what I hope to see when we come to a building. I hope to hear your insights, and I hope to hear those of the students. And you brought a really fun group of people that had really worthy things to share with us. So thank you for preparing for tonight. I wanted to thank Jody and Rashi for preparing such good remarks about Elise and Mary Kate. You said everything I would have wanted to say, so thank you for taking the time to do that so well. And last but not least, Jody, you already touched on this, but I think tonight is about celebrating the people that are leaving, but I think we've done that in the right way, and I'm ready to be excited and welcome the new members. Dr. Simonson, thank you for running again for another 4 years. I like sitting next to you. I'm glad you'll be there. And to Joe Everett, Sandra Litvin, and Susan Elks, thank you for stepping in. Jen Brown used to say to step in the ring and actually be the gladiator and do this work. And you're hearing tonight about what the heart of the work is. So thank you for stepping forward, and I look forward to serving with all three of you.
I just want to say thank you to all my board colleagues. Thank you for all your kind words. I'm not sure I deserve them, or maybe I do. I don't know, but thank you anyway. Mr. Crater, thank you for an excellent presentation. It's so great to see you in this position and the energy and enthusiasm you bring to it. I don't think any of us had a doubt that you would bring that, but I think the energy we saw tonight has far surpassed anything that you've ever done. I just think you're right where you should be, and we're lucky to have you. And just hearing the students and, their perspectives was so cool. I think that was a really neat presentation idea. And I think what excites me the most about listening to them talk, hearing their nerves about the next chapter and what will be, and, the stresses, listening to the freshman student talking about the big transition and the homework and the this and the that's. And I guess I'm so excited for them because I know, having sat in this very library and having gone through this district, I know that come college, they're going to have the reflection of, wow, I am prepared. And, that to me is just so exciting. So I'll say to you, Cushy, because you're going to be in those shoes next year, you're ready, and you're already ready now. And you've been, in training, so to speak, and you have had some of the best teachers and administrators guiding you, and you will kind of see that all come together when you go to college. So I'm excited for you. And I know there's nerves now, but it's going to be great, and you're going to be great. So anyway, thank you for sharing that with us.
No further comments.
Turns the page.
We haven't hit final.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Thank you to Mr. Crater. Thank you to Mr. Bresky. I did get to see Frankenstein, and it was excellent. And the sound system was so much improved. It was wonderful. And I just have to give a shout out to Mr. Crater because he did me a huge favor when I left my phone in the auditorium and went home, and it got hand delivered to my home. He left it on top of, he texted me, he said, it's on top of your Amazon package on your front step at like 10 o'clock at night. So thank you so much for that. You always go above and beyond, and I appreciate that. And I think the students see it and they appreciate it. And yeah, this was a really a neat format. And I feel like I really heard substantial things from the kids, which was meaningful for me. So thank you very much. Congratulations to the Silver Worlds. I know that you worked really hard on that on your days off and your evenings. Okay, we are going to plow through tonight's agenda super fast. Cliff Note versions. Next up is routine business. And if it's okay with my colleagues, I'd like to bundle agenda items 3.1 through 3.3. So I move to approve agenda items 3.1 through 3.3.
Second.
Pack the letter.
Okay, if there's no comments, I will move to a vote. All those in favor of approving agenda items 3.1 through 3.3, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes 9-0. Ms. Drumheller, will you please review and file the financial statements and the activity reports? Excellent. Okay. Moving on to curriculum, instruction, and technology with Ms. Anderson.
Thank you, Dr. Brada. We have 5 voting items tonight, so we will just roll through them. Item 4.1, phys ed course recommendations for the middle school. I make a motion to approve the physical education courses at Patton Middle School as listed.
Second.
Okay. At the CIT meeting, Mr. Drew Summers and Mr. Eddie Anderson presented recommendations for revisions and additions to 6th through 8th grade PE and health courses for the 26-27 school year, starting the 26-27 school year. Their overall goal in the presentation outlined was 6th grade would be foundational, 7th grade would be exploratory, giving them choices, and 8th grade would be getting into specialized. And to increase individual engagement and motivation, to foster lifelong health and wellness skills, and to create a greater culture of belonging and positivity toward physical education. For 6th grade, one choice, foundations of phys ed, and just some minor revisions to the PE units. For 7th grade, 2 choices, recreational games and movement, or a competition-focused PE course. And for 8th grade, 3 choices, lifetime fitness and wellness, a competition-focused PE course, or unified PE. And then for life skills students, they'll be offering modified health as the course offerings for every 6th through 8th grade. Pause for questions before we vote. Seeing none.
Okay, all those in favor of approving agenda item 4.1, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes 9-0.
Okay, item 4.2, health and PE course recommendations at the high school. I make a motion to approve the physical education and health courses at Unionville High School as listed.
Second.
Okay, at the CIT meeting, Mr. Joe Herman and Mr. Drew Moister presented recommendations for revisions, additions, and deletions to 9th through 12th grade PE and health courses starting next year, 26-27. The goal is to maximize student engagement and optimize learning based on what offerings will appeal to different individuals and groups. The new courses they're proposing are net and racket, lifelong leisure sports, outdoor experience, and unified PE. The revised courses would be wellness 1 and 2 revisions, and the deleted courses would be deleting developing effective leadership, personal fitness, yoga 2, and adapted PE. Pausing for any questions? Ready to vote?
Okay, all those in favor of approving agenda item 4.2?
4.2.
4.2, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes 9-0.
Okay. Agenda item 4.3. UHS, losing my place here. Okay. UHS business apps course recommendations. At the Curriculum Instruction Technology meeting, Mr. Jack Starkey presented recommendations for 3 new business courses to be offered in the starting in the 26-27 school year. AP Business and Personal Finance, AP Cybersecurity, and a course called Cooperative Education, which the coursework would be directly tied to a student's job. Mr. Starkey also noted that our currently offered personal finance course will be slightly revised to align with state requirements that will take effect next school year. Pause for any questions. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't make a motion. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, there we are. Sorry. Motion to approve the business computer apps courses at Unionville High School as listed.
Second.
Okay, I will not repeat myself, I think we're ready to vote.
Okay. All those in favor of approving agenda item 4.3, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes 9-0.
Okay, item 4.4, I'd like to make a motion to approve the music courses at Unionville High School as listed.
Second.
Okay, again at CIT, Mr. Leo Zepeda presented recommendations for music department course offerings for the starting in the 26-27 school year. First, he proposed to combine music theory 1 and 2 courses into a single year-long course, which he believes will be more effective than the 2 current single semester offerings. Second, he proposed adding a new 1-semester course called the History of Rock to appeal to a wide variety of students. It will explore the alignment of music, culture, and history over the last century. And finally, he recommended eliminating the course Fundamentals of Music due to declining enrollment and also alternative opportunities through independent studies. Pausing for questions. Ready to vote? Okay.
All those in favor of approving agenda item 4.4, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes 9-0.
Okay, last voting item tonight is item 4.5, the approval of 12th grade AP English additional novels. I'd make a motion to approve the AP English courses at novels course, the motion to approve the AP English courses at Unionville High School as listed. These will be the novels as listed attached.
Second.
Okay. At the October curriculum CIT meeting, Amy Ahart from the UHS English Department gave a presentation about curriculum expansion for 12th grade AP English, reflecting changes made by the College Board and including the proposal to add 11 new novel choices at no additional cost to the budget. These novels have been available to the public to review and provide feedback on for the last month as per our standard practice, and we are now ready to vote to approve them. So seeing no questions, I think we're ready to vote.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving the agenda item 4.5, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? That passes 8-0-1. 8 yeses, 1 no. Thank you.
Okay, one item I want to share for discussion. At the work session, Mr. Pat Clark provided the board an update on the initial work of the new College and Career Committee with a presentation on 3 main areas of focus. The first is school programming, things we're doing right now to help better prepare students for their post-UHS futures. We're currently doing a lot, as the presentation showed, and a comprehensive list was presented, noting that we continue to add new initiatives like expanding the grade-specific future-ready seminars at UHS and adding a new co-op education course being planned for starting the 26-27 school year. The second focus is dual enrollment programming with institutions of higher learning. We currently offer dual enrollment programs with Westchester University and Rochester Institute of Technology that some students take advantage of. However, the logistics are tricky because of travel time, and the committee is exploring creative ways to expand these offerings and add other offerings in ways that meet student needs. And then the third area of focus that Mr. Clark identified and shared was community partnerships to give students direct real-world experiences. The committee identified this as the biggest area of growth, and they're focusing on creating opportunities like shadow days and internships, which our tech department has already started, as well as building a resource base through an alumni network. So it was a great update available to check out if you want on the on board docs. That is all I have for curriculum, and I turn it back over to you.
Excellent job, Ms. Anderson. All right, moving on to policy with Mr. Allen.
Thank you, Dr. Brada. Tonight, we have 3 policies for approval and 1 policy for review approval. So with the permission of my colleagues, I move that we bundle agenda items 5.1 through 5.4 for voting.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Loomis. Policy 105, which is curriculum for approval, there's curriculum, policy 209.2, which is diabetes management, policy 217, which is graduation, and then policy 918, all of which have been discussed prior to tonight's meeting. Does anyone else have any questions or comments regarding these 4 policies? Seeing none, I think we're ready to vote.
Okay, all those in favor of approving agenda items 5.1 through 5.4, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes those pass 9-0.
Thank you, Dr. Brada. Moving on to item 5.5, policies for second reading. We discussed these over the last 2 months. One item that I will note, we discussed last week, policy 322 gifts. There will be additional updated language when we next meet to discuss policy in January. As a reminder, next month we just have the reorganization meeting and the achievement reports, so there's no policy covered at next month's meeting. So based upon some feedback I've received from board members by email, we will have some updated language for policy 322 on gifts for us to discuss at the January work session prior to voting on it at the January board meeting. Any questions or comments about these policies? Seeing none, moving on to item 5.6, policies for first reading. We first discussed these and saw these at last week's work session, and we will have 2 additional months with which to discuss before we vote on them in February. Any questions regarding item 5.6? Seeing none, that concludes policy. Back to you, Dr. Brada.
Excellent bundling too. Moving on to facilities, not only, Dr. Simonson is not the only one who can do it well. Moving on to facilities with Dr. Aki.
All right, thank you, Dr. Barada. We only have one item, 6.1. I move to approve the cost proposal with Aluminum Athletic Equipment Company in the amount of $16,182 for replacement of the UHS Stadium safety netting.
Second.
Competition. This
I'm gonna give
netting.
that to Miss Anderson.
This netting is 15 years old, and it's time to replace it. It's been frayed and brittle at multiple places. We're going to keep the existing poles, so it's just for the nets and the cables, and it's coming from the long-range facilities plan. All right, we're ready to vote. Dr. Brown.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving agenda item 6.1, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes 9-0.
That is all for facilities. Back to you, Dr. Rada.
Thank you, Dr. Key. Moving on to personnel with Dr. Simonson.
Okay. I move we approve agenda items 7.1 through 7.12.
Second.
Last week, Dr. Barada announced and described what we discussed from the personnel agenda in our executive session. Unless Mr. Audubard has any updates on anything or my board colleagues have any questions, I think we're ready to vote.
Okay, all those in favor of approving agenda items 7.1 through 7.12, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Those pass 9-0.
That completes personnel.
Can't turn my pages fast enough. Moving on to communications with Miss.
Thank you, Dr. Barada. I would like to bundle our communications item 8.1 in the interest of expediting the meeting. This is in regards to the website redevelopment proposal. I move to approve the website redevelopment proposal with final site in the amount of $22,525.
Second.
I never get to bundle. I had to throw that in. Thank you. As part of our 2025-2026 district goals, UCFSD has committed to redeveloping its website for improved alignment with our district values and for an enhanced user experience, especially being in compliance with federal digital accessibility standards. We've chosen to continue our partnership with Final Site, and we do receive a 15% discount on design development. We are doing a select custom design with a one-time cost of $22,525. Ms. Leroy shared this in November for informational purposes, and the duration of this project will be approximately 18 weeks. And this will be a collaborative process throughout that timeline. Anyone have any questions or comments? We're ready to vote on our bundled 8.1. Thank you.
All those in favor of approving agenda item 8.1, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Those pass 9-0.
And that concludes communications. Back to you, Dr. Barada.
Thank you, Ms. Loomis. Moving on to student activities with Ms. Talbert.
Thank you very much. Pat Clark, the Director of Student Activities, gave the full report last week at the work session, but tonight we have two voting items. The first is agenda item 9.1, the UHS Ski Club trip to Vermont. I'd like to motion to approve the ski club overnight trip to Vermont on February 19th through the 21st of 2026.
Second.
Thank you very much. This is an overnight trip request. They go somewhere different every year. This year is Sugar Bush. The costs are mostly borne by the attendees, with adult chaperone stipends being accounted for in the existing budget for that. Kids are pretty excited. They're doing two big trips this year. Any questions? Dr. Barada, we're ready to call the vote.
Okay, all those in favor of approving agenda item 9.1, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes 9-0.
Moving on, agenda item 9.2. I'd like to motion to approve the indoor color guard overnight trip to New York on February 14th through 15th, 2026.
Second.
This would be their second regional trip. They have to take two in order to go to the national competition. So they were already doing a different regional trip. So this is going to take the place of that. It's a higher level of competition, different schools available. They're pretty excited to compete here. The costs are accounted for in existing budgets. Questions? Dr. Barada, we're ready to call.
Okay, all those in favor of approving agenda item 9.2, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes 9-0.
Thank you to my colleagues, and that concludes the student activities report.
Thank you, Ms. Talbert. Moving on to Safe Schools with Mr. Allen.
Thank you, Dr. Barada. We have no voting items this month. Last week during work session, Dr. Hoffman presented the November Safe Schools report. I encourage everyone to take a look at last week's agenda for the slide deck or to watch the recording to hear the presentation. Seeing no other questions or comments, that concludes Safe Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Moving on to Finance with Mr. Schartz.
Yes, clearly we saved the most exciting voting item for the finale tonight. I move that the board approve the resolution authorizing Dr. Hoffman to electronically sign e-grants as attached to the agenda item 11.1.
I proudly second that.
Perfunctory, necessary, mundane. Let's get to it.
Okay, all those in favor of approving agenda item 11.1, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That passes 9-0.
Excellent. Just a couple of comments about non-voting items that were discussed last week. First of all, I think we're all very happy to hear that all the work that Mr. Dady did on our behalf to present the information related to the delays in both the state and federal budgets have all been rendered moot. But we do appreciate the foresight and the preparedness that we were undertaking to make sure that we weren't caught off guard had it gone the other way. We also received the preliminary audit report. That will be a voting item to accept that report in January, I believe, January. And related to that is just the discussion that we'll need to have as a board to make sure that we're all on board with the idea of reallocating assigned fund balance to unassigned fund balance at that time. It won't be a voting issue, but if you have any questions, please let me know or Mr. Dady know in the next couple of months. And finally, Mr. Dady just updated the local revenue information, which continues to show very strong local revenue trends. Everything is generally on track there. So coupled with the news from Harrisburg as well as Washington, D.C., I think we feel much more comfortable today than we did even a week ago that we're on track on the revenue side of our budget. I'll pause to see if there are any questions. Seeing none, back to you, Dr. Barada.
Thank you for that fascinating finance report. Moving on to reports and comments, Chester County Intermediate Unit Report. Mr.
Oh.
Hellrung.
All is good at the CCIU. We had our leadership meeting last week and the board meeting is Wednesday at Pennox Bridge. All of the 10 CCIU board members, or maybe all the CCIU board members who ran for re-election were re-elected. So the only replacements are 2 that did not run, which is ours as well as Oxford. So 10 of the 12 will be back. The IU is in a good place, and I will send you the report of that meeting when we get it after next Wednesday.
Thank you, Mr. Hellrung, and thank you for your service to the IU for many years. And you're maintaining one of your positions at the IU, is that correct?
Yes, I'll still be on the authority board, which is sort of the landlord and the financing arm of the IU by state law.
Okay, moving on to community comments. Is there anyone in the community that would like to make public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to school director comments, beginning with Mr. Hellrung.
You will probably all be surprised that as long as my talk was, I did forget one thing, and I want to just, it won't be long, but I didn't mention the wonderful parent community, which is such a vital part of our school district. And in particular, there's 2 that I think are really awesome parents that have been so active in the district and have been such wonderful friends of mine, Betty Kuharchek and Del Joshi. And so I just wanted to recognize them publicly and acknowledge their contributions and their friendship. And with Betty, we also have to think about Focus and all the things that Focus has done in support of parents and kids in our district. So that's it.
I just want to say it has been an honor and a privilege to have had the opportunity to sit in the seat. So thank you.
No comments.
No comments.
No comments.
I forgot to thank Mr. Crater. Really enjoy being back here and really enjoy seeing you in the seat. So thank you.
As Ms. Loomis said, it has been my honor and privilege as well. And I just want to take this moment to my 2 departing colleagues as well to say, Mary Kate, it has been my pleasure serving with you. And I have very much enjoyed your humor and your energy. And I wish you well as you continue to serve this district. And Mr. Hellrung, I almost can't articulate. That's the truth. You've been my mentor, you've been a leader, you've been my friend, and will continue to be all those things. And I look forward to our book club. So thank you.
No comments.
I haven't been invited to the book club, but I'm open, and I think you have my number. All right. Thank you to all my board colleagues, especially Mr. Hellrung, Ms. Anderson, Ms. Loomis, for your time and attention tonight. Just a reminder that December has only 1 meeting. That is going to be held on Thursday, December 4th. This is the organizational meeting where we will swear in the 3 new and 1 returning board members. And then we will follow that immediately with the limited agenda achievement report. And that concludes tonight's meeting. Thank you very much.